So I had just gotten a job at this preschool in Tokyo. The school was located right next to a graveyard. The graveyard had this fence made of black iron bars, and it had these spikes at the top, you know the type. Well, one day I was walking to work and I passed by the fence as usual, and I saw that someone had impaled bugs and small lizards onto some of the spikes. It was pretty gross, but I didn't think anything of it. Probably a prank by some neighborhood kids. The next day, as I was walking to work, the bugs and lizards were gone. The groundskeeper or principal must have cleaned it up, but there, stuck to a spike, laid a dead mole. I immediately informed the principal, who promptly took it down. As he was doing so, I noticed that red tears flowed from its eyes. The mole's eyes were gone, poked out, it seemed like. Strange, right? Things got stranger. So the school had a class pet, a rabbit, Mrs. Carrot. The kids loved her. Well, the next day, someone had stuck Mrs. Carrot on top of the fence and had poked her eyes out. At that point, I called a staff meeting because, come on, this wasn't normal. We all agreed that someone should come to school early and catch this person in the act. I volunteered, and we ended the meeting. On a whim, I asked one of the boys if he knew. His name was Hikaru. I asked him if he knew what happened. He mumbled one word to me. Hisaruki. Now, no one in school had that name. Not a kid, not a teacher. And then the boy covered his eyes and started repeating, Hisaruki, Hisaruki, Hisaruki. I didn't know what to make of it, so I told him to go and play. I remember thinking it was odd that the kids were not sad about Mrs. Carrot at all. Like they just accepted her death. One of the teachers, on the other hand, was freaked out. She mentioned to me that there used to be this boy at the school, just a normal student, but one day he didn't come to school. He didn't come for a week. Finally, after a week, his parents came over to get his things. They said their boy had an accident and they had to move. They didn't say much else, but she saw the child sitting in their car as it drove off. The boy wore 2 eye patches. He was blind. I rushed to my office and searched the internet for Hisaruki. I didn't find much, but what I did find was disturbing. Once in a while there would be a random thread on a forum or on Reddit about children mentioning the name Hisaruki, and it was always young children. And then I found a weird incident where a little girl had lost her eyes, but no one could explain how it happened. At that point, it was lunchtime and I had to go watch the kids in the playground. To be honest, I was spooked. At lunch, the kids were playing, running around, just being normal kids. And then I saw Hikaru stop and gaze up at the sky like he was expecting something. I looked up, but nothing was there. I came up to him, worried. He looked at me, his eyes wide, and said, "It's Hisaruki." Suddenly, I realized the playground was silent. Then, one by one, the other kids covered their eyes and started repeating, Hisaruki, Hisaruki, Hisaruki. A chill creeped up my spine. The children knew something laid just below the surface. I asked Hikaru, "Who's Hisaruki?" He didn't answer. At this point, I didn't care. I wrenched Hikaru's hands from his eyes and asked louder, "Who is Hisaruki?" I must have scared the poor kid. In his panic, he opened his eyes. And then it happened. He yelled, "No! Don't take mine! Take his!" And he took his 2 index fingers and jammed them into my eyes. They rushed me to the hospital, but they couldn't save my sight. They told me Hikaru was devastated at what he had done and cried for hours. I don't blame him. It wasn't his fault. It was Hisaruki. It seems like only kids knew about him. They whisper about him. I stopped looking into it. I want to forget, but sometimes I hear the whispers. Hisaruki, Hisaruki, Hisaruki. And now that I can only see darkness, I can't tell if the whispers are just in my head or if Hisaruki is standing right beside me. Hey you! So this is not a normal video for this channel. If you want to see those, check them out. And thank you to our Emperor patrons, Tyler and Trevor, who have not usurped each other yet. Seems they've come to a truce and are now co-emperors. Yay.